Let me paint you a picture. It is week 9 of my semester. I have not slept properly since like week 3. I have 6 midterms, 13 assignments, 3 group projects, club responsibilities, a finance side project that I probably shouldn't have started, and this YouTube channel, for which I am filming right now instead of doing the other 15,000 things. So, when my friend DM'd me completely out of nowhere that Cursor Pro is free for students for a year, something shifted inside me, like a gear clicking into place. I guess you could even say a screw coming loose. Okay. Now there's a group project that I have due at around April, around the time that I have like 15 other group projects due. And so I kind of wanted to test how Cursor Pro is doing, see how AI really is revolutionizing the industry. Now, I want to be clear about something. I have used AI to code before. I copy paste into Claude every now and then, ask it to debug, that kind of thing. But I've never actually properly vibe coded. I've never opened up the terminal with Claude code installed and started just going at it for like 15 hours straight. I've never sat down and let AI do everything for me, and as I say in this, because like I have used Claude, I copy paste code, ask it to debug, but I've never really vibe coded before. I've never really sat down and let AI do everything for me like a little baby boy. So, but that's what we're doing today. We're gonna be the little baby boy. So yeah, as you can see, I'm right now on the app setup branch. So I actually have been working on this a little bit. So let's give that a run. So we have been working, and that's fine. What isn't fine is the amount of progress. See, it's been about a week, and I've been coding all this. So there's still a lot of work to be done. I don't want to code more. No. Hey, what's good? Okay, pause. Before we actually start, coding and everything, let me kind of tell you what this is all about. This is a database class. The assignment was build a database-backed applications that spanned 4 months. When we were first brainstorming ideas, my friend pitched an inventory management system. And the moment he said it, my brain thought, okay, which inventory management system exists already that I can just copy? And my brain immediately went to SAP. It is, if you want the summary, a German enterprise software company that has existed since before I was born and will probably continue long after I die. Their UI, however, looks like it was designed, once by a local homeless man in 2003, and yet despite that, half the world's supply chains run on this. So I kind of wanted to, encapsulate that aesthetic, at least for the front end. I guess that's just a really nice way of saying I wanted to steal the front end. Now, mind you, the work that I just told you about was just for coding. I had also done design work before for the different progress reports that were also due for the project. And so let me just quickly go over what they were. So for the database side, I had the EERD, which is the Extended Entity Relationship Diagram, basically a map of all the tables and how they connect to each other, and then the Relational Mapping Diagram, which shows all the columns in each table and the primary keys and foreign keys linking everything together. Hey, what's up, my cursor friend? See, this is the kind of cordiality you need to bring to the conversation, just so that when AI does eventually take over and try and kill us all, it's going to remember you as one of the good ones, and then it's going to keep you as a slave or something instead of just, massacring your family. So the first thing I did was feed it the project proposal in both progress reports and asked it to give me a full implementation plan. Next.js frontend, Supabase for the database layer, and as much raw SQL as possible because, again, this is a database class. I was expecting a little bit of pushback. I was expecting, maybe it wouldn't be able to handle all these files. And no, it just did it. Okay, there we go. So hopefully that's a good prompt. I've given it enough context. Proposal, progress. Yeah, oh my god, it can actually... this thing is amazing. What the hell? I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting that. It kind of scaffolded everything, gave me a phase-by-phase implementation breakdown with like the database schema first, then API layer, then front end, then connecting them. Very terrifying. I specifically told it to make the UI look like SAP, but not look like a vibe-coded app because, and I'm going to die on this hill, every AI-generated front end looks exactly the same. Same rounded card, same gradient button, same sidebar with little icons that don't mean anything. And okay, I won't lie, I kind of nailed it. It really does kind of look like SAP. I mean, not exactly, but it's not embarrassing either. Then I noticed something. Cursor reinstalled Next.js. Now, the thing is, I already had Next.js installed. I have had Next.js installed for a very long time. Now there are 2 separate dependency references on my machine for absolutely no reason. Look, I know that seems minor and it seems like I'm making a big deal out of this, but this is the thing about vibe coding that I think people gloss over. The AI writes functional code, sure, but it does not write good code. It doesn't know your environment. It doesn't know what you already have. It makes assumptions, and sometimes those assumptions are just slightly wrong in ways that will eventually compound. I've seen people say that AI is going to replace junior developers completely. I low-key think it already has. Intermediate developers, maybe, but there's a ceiling. And I think you'll probably start to feel that in these little small things. So this is where things get fun. I asked Cursor to generate all the SQL commands for the schema, clean tables, proper conventions, following the ER diagrams exactly. It did not follow the diagrams exactly. It was also writing everything in lowercase, which technically works, but that is not proper SQL notation, and this is a database class, so we have to follow the standards. So I told it, redo everything, uppercase SQL keywords, follow the schema from the documents, no inventing new tables. And now again, another critique I have with these AI models, they hallucinate too goddamn much, man. Because I keep on telling it, hey, make sure to follow the diagrams exactly. And for some reason, it kept on generating this audit log table every single time. I've never asked for an audit log table. It is not in my ER diagram, it's not in my RM diagram. It just keeps appearing, like I don't know. Anyway, I ran the database setup command and yeah. I forgot to reset the actual database first, so I went back, reset it, copied the new Supabase connection key into my .env local, and then pushed to GitHub. And I pushed my database credentials to a public repo. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge that I am in university studying this. I am paying tuition to know how to... Okay. I know that the .env.local should be in the git ignore. I had added it. Problem is, I asked Cursor to generate a new one, and it just didn't include it properly. So, what? Okay. Now, for reasons I cannot explain, I decided I wanted to build the auth myself. The logic was airtight. Users enter credentials, system checks the database. If correct, they get access. No sessions, no tokens, nothing fancy, alright? My original project had worked exactly like this, simple, clean, and done. I expected Cursor to do the same thing. What are cookies doing here? I did not ask for cookies. I took a database class. I don't even know how cookies work. Cookies are not in my ER diagram. It tried to store session data in cookies. The cookies were never actually being read back properly. The login would work in the sense that it would accept any credentials and then just not sign you in. I spent a genuinely embarrassing amount of time trying to get Cursor to fix its own cookie implementation before I realized it was just not gonna resolve itself cleanly. So I said, hey, just use Supabase auth, and of course it worked first try. Sometimes a correct engineering decision is to just know when to give up and surrender and go the easy way. Anyway, now that the main aspects of everything were done, I realized that I was kind of getting tired. And my friend had told me that AI performs best when you let it plan first. So I asked Cursor to generate a complete to-do list of everything needed to connect the front end and back end together. And then I watched it complete them. And at the end of it, it used about 73% of the usage limit that you get from the Pro plan per month. That's quite a bit. I didn't even know there was a context limit, so that was a fun discovery. Turns out if you're feeding it full transcript documents and ER diagrams and having it rewrite entire schemas, it does use up tokens. Kind of shocked me. I didn't think that's how it worked. Then, of course, I asked it to separate the views by user type. Of course, right now, as you can see, the sidebar is kind of just one thing for both user types. That's not how it's going to work. Admins had a different view. Staff had a different view. And, damn. It actually works. That's 4 months of scope done in like 3 hours. So one thing I want to specify, I didn't write a single line of code in this video, not one. And at the end of it, I had burned through about 73% of my Cursor Pro monthly usage limit. So if you are using this on a free plan, plan your prompts carefully, okay? Don't use Opus for everything. I learned that the hard way. You'll stretch your limit a lot further that way. But here's the thing I keep thinking about. Every single time the project got stuck, it was because of the context I didn't provide it. The AI quite literally only works with exactly what I give it. And I think that's the honest takeaway here. Vibe coding doesn't remove the need to understand what you're building. It just kind of changes where understanding needs to live. You still need to know enough about SQL being injected into a front end. You still need to know what a git ignore is supposed to do. You still need to notice when your auth isn't actually working. The floor for building things is basically gone now. The ceiling can still be you. And if you're my professor watching this, I did do the ER diagrams myself. That was me. So partial credit, please. Okay, cool plugin outro time. I've begun working on Finance Guy again, resuming that project up. So go waitlist. It's in the description. I have a Discord set up right now, a server for my community. Right now I'm recording a lead code video and people are suggesting me problems on the server. So please go over there, send me your ideas. We talk about stuff, we talk about coding and stuff like that. So basically a community of builders, people that like to make cool stuff. I'm trying to gather them all in one place and make a community out of it. But yeah, no, like and subscribe, the standard ordeal. And yeah, go click on this video that you see on the screen right now. Yeah. All right, bye.